Hi, my name is Somer Canon, and today I'd like to read to you an excerpt from my short story, The Riddled Path, which can be found in Under Her Black Wings, which is book 1 of the Kandisha Press Women of Horror Anthology series. The scouts were capable boys who had been on many hikes, so Mark barely had to oversee them cleaning up where they had eaten. Barely a trace of them was left behind as they hoisted their backpacks onto their shoulders and started through the rocky hall. "Well, hello there," a cheery female voice called out from above. Mark's heart was in his throat as he skidded to a stop and looked up. He saw a woman, head and shoulders and nothing more, looking down from a small outcropping in the high stony wall. She smiled down at them, and Mark felt his stomach drop and an eerie sense of dread. There was something wrong about her, but he couldn't quite put his finger on what it was. "What are you doing up there?" Meredith asked. "It's so high." "I can get up here easily enough," the strange woman said, still smiling, her teeth looking to be the kind of mess that bought orthodontists fancy cars and boats. "Are you a mountain climber?" Todd, one of the boys, asked. "I didn't know Crow Mountain had a climbing scene." There was a noise that furthered Mark's unease. It was the noise of something large moving. The strange woman tilted her head and continued smiling her shark's grin at them. She shook her head slowly, and Mark got what was wrong with how she looked. Aside from her teeth, the woman's head was huge. Mark guessed that she was about 10 yards up the rock face, and yet her head and facial features were easy to see in detail, which would normally have been a problem for him and his aging eyesight. He squinted and kept examining her, hoping to prove himself wrong, but his unease grew to terror the more he looked at her. She had dark hair cropped close to her head. It looked like it had been chewed to his length rather than cut. Her shoulders were bare, and seeing her pale skin made Mark shiver in his coat. Her eyes were smiling as much as her mouth, but he could see that they were a brilliant brown and gold color, almost like a puma. "I think I should be the one asking the questions," the woman said, her voice hiding a menacing tone under the cheer. "We really don't have time to stand around all day and chat," Meredith said, waving a dismissive hand up at the woman. "We're on a scout hike, and I'd like to have my boy home before dark so that he can relax for the rest of the evening." "Please believe that I have no intention of keeping you," the woman said, shifting again. She must have been lying on her stomach looking down at them. "You see, you're walking my path, and I'm afraid that I can't let you pass for free. Nothing is free, you know. No, I'm afraid that you must do something in order to safely pass through this granite corridor." "What on earth are you talking about?" Meredith asked. Mark was unable to find his voice. He was watching the exchange, feeling as if he were no longer anchored in his body. He was the one in charge that day. He was the one who should have been talking with the terrifying woman, but instead it was Meredith. Mark looked around at the boys, and their pale, wide-eyed expressions told him that he wasn't the only one sensing a wrongness to the woman talking to them. He looked at Meredith, at her jaw jutting out in annoyance at the woman above, and he knew that her talkative mood was not leadership, but dimness. "It's like a game, you see," the woman said. "I ask you a question, and if you get it right, you can go through the corridor." "What, did you think I was going to demand money from you?" She laughed, the sound of which made Mark nauseous. "Goodness, no. I only ask for answers, to test your mettle, as it were." Now, if you'd like to know how the rest of it goes, you will have to buy Under Her Black Wings and check out all the other Women of Horror anthologies put out by Kandisha Press. Volume 2 is called Graveyard Smash, and Volume 3 is The One That Got Away. So that's me signing off. Thanks for listening.